Ready to explore the ocean from your computer screen? That's our Techstination. Square 3 Lab, SQR, the numeral 3 Lab, is launching Steam Early Access as of December 2nd to subROV, Underwater Discoveries. Joining us is creator Jose Luis Gonzalez Castro. Hi, Jose.
Hi, how are you?
I'm terrific, thanks. This is a beautiful deep sea exploration simulation game. So let's dive in and tell us more about it.
Well, subROV, it's a game where I try to recreate the experience of a live stream. And what's a live stream? I hear you say. Well, there's several oceanographic institutions that have research vessels. And they also have exploring submarines that they deploy in the ocean to conduct research in the deep sea. The very interesting thing for us that are not experts in the field is that they have been live streaming all their dives, all their explorations live in YouTube for years now, which means that from the comfort of my home, I can follow what they do with these submarine robots in real time. Sometimes you will see these scientists discovering new species at the same time that they discover them, which I think is just incredible. So my game is an attempt to recreate what they do in a way that's interactive, so that you are not only an spectator of these dives, but you can actually conduct them yourself.
So it's as if you're controlling the submarine and the cameras and in charge of the exploration?
That is correct. That's exactly what you do. You have control over the research vessel. You can deploy your submarine. The submarine is remote controlled and is tethered to the vessel, so with what they call an umbilical. So it's a very long cable that transmits the electricity for the submarine to operate, and also the images and the parameters back from the submarine. And you decide where to deploy it and what to explore.
Are there different regions of the world that you're exploring here?
Yes, there's several dives that I have created. They are mostly in the Pacific, but that's just I would say a bit by chance, and also because I found a few dives that I wanted to do that were already based in the Pacific. But in principle, I should be able to create dives all over the world.
Let's let our viewers here, and if you're listening to this, I urge you to go online and watch this too. Let's give them a taste of what this looks like. The piano arrangement is beautiful too, as you just heard. You're the composer, I understand?
I am a composer. That's I have a master's in composition and another in piano performance. That's what I studied. It's I guess life takes you places. I studied music, and I was thinking on fields where I could apply my knowledge on music, and I was thinking of working with other people. I thought on doing film, but somehow I ended up in video games. And my career has been mostly about sound design, actually, though lately I'm doing more music. And finally, after many years with working with people, in other fields of game development, I decided to do my own, and that's why I'm making my own game now. But yes, originally I am a composer.
When you say making your own game, you aren't kidding. You're the solo developer of this, right?
Yes, that is true. I mean, nobody does things in a vacuum. Let's be clear about that. It's not, I didn't come up with absolutely everything that the game has to offer. I didn't do all the 3D assets, nor I did create the, let's say, the engine, the framework on which the game is developed. There's lots of resources that one can use nowadays, so that something that would be otherwise unsurmountable becomes possible. Difficult, but possible. But yes, I am the only person behind this project.
How long has this taken you?
A while, though it didn't start as an attempt to make a game from the onset. In the beginning, it was more like a pet project that I had, because I wanted to test some audio tools that I use in an environment where I could control absolutely everything. And so I decided to create my own project for that. At that same time, I discovered the live streams, and I thought that would be a very appropriate setting, because there's so many possibilities for sound design, particularly with, all the biology, the sounds of the sea, the elements, all the mechanical sounds of the ship and the ROV. I thought it was a very, very interesting setting for my project. And over time, because of many circumstances, such as the long time of the pandemic, where, work was scarce and, well, we were all at home and stuff, I ended up devoting more time to this project. And eventually had a prototype that I thought was, well, very playable and enjoyable. And I started presenting it to oceanographic institutions, and some of which liked it, and some of which decided to support it. And that's how, little by little, I ended up developing a full game.
And those are the Schmidt Ocean Institute, and that's Wendy and Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google. I think the Bermuda Institute of Ocean Sciences, and you have support too from the National Science Foundation?
Yes, that was through the Bermuda Institute. One of the scientists was conducting some research on Humboldt squid, and as part of that research, they requested for a grant from the NSF, and they asked me to develop a dive based on that research.
That is fantastic. So what is it about this subject that attracted you? I mean, if you were going to make a game, you could have gone in any direction that you wanted to. What drew you into the ocean, so to speak?
There's many things, actually. For one, the ocean itself. I have a history of fascination with the ocean. I cannot live very far away from it, but I dread it when I think of that giant mass so close. It's a very interesting relationship that I have with the ocean, but I love it.
Are you a diver, or
No, not at all. But my family is from a coastal town. We live. I have the sea 10 minutes away from my home, and it's been a constant like background, a presence in my life, to the point that I cannot live very far away inland. I miss it. Even if I don't visit, I still miss it. It's like I say, it's a very interesting relationship. But it's not just that. It's also all the technology involved in these dives. This place where I am is my music studio, and I'm surrounded by keyboards and synthesizers and all kinds of devices and control surfaces and such. So when I saw the submarine's control room, it kind of like it resonated with me. Let's put it that way. I was like, hey, this is kind of like what I do. It's just that they're in a ship and I'm in a studio. But I felt very connected to their experience. And I could have done spaceships, because that's also a theme that I like. But I had been working on spaceships for a long time at Frontier Developments, where they developed Elite Dangerous. I worked on that game. And I thought I just couldn't do a spaceship game that would live even remotely. It's not like this game in its own league will actually rise to the heights of Elite Dangerous, but I thought even more so if I was attempting to make a space game. So in an attempt to be a little bit more original in my own way, I went for the inner space rather than the outer space, and I made a submarine game.
And it did a wonderful job with it. What are you hoping players will take away from this? Are you hoping to raise awareness, or is it just strictly an entertainment thing for you?
Oh, I don't know. I hope that if they ever thought on how it would feel to explore the ocean, that they get a chance to do that through my game. Because even though there's so many games out there, there's not so many where you can actually explore the oceans at your heart content in a setting that's not violent. And if only for that, I think this game gives people an opportunity to just relax, explore. Take a look at what they do in those YouTube videos. See how they explore the deep sea and the creatures that they find. And then if you feel like, hey, how would it be if I was in control of that submarine? Then go play my game, because that's exactly what I'm trying to let you do. And I hope that this will give people a curiosity for the ocean and instill in them a sense of what it means, that huge, I would call it being that surrounds us, of which we still have so much to learn and so much to explore.
And so much to protect too, right? So
that is true.
So how can people play?
Well, the game releases tomorrow on Steam. So all they have to do is get the game and start it, and they will pretty much get into the dives. I haven't cut any content from the beginning. There's nothing spared. I made a series because the subject is relatively specific, so to say, and there are many things that are not common knowledge. I've made a series of certification dives, I call them, where I teach the players how to operate the vessel and the basics of, I don't know, the side scan sonar that it has to map and chart the seafloor, and all the operation of the ROV, so that they can, the ROV is the remote operated vehicle, the submarine, so that they learn how to deploy it and how to operate it. I have to say, I made a huge attempt so that this, even though my game is a simulator, it's an approachable simulator. I'm not trying to make it overcomplicated. My emphasis is in recreating the whole experience, not the inner workings of a submarine down to the, to the physics of the last bolt. This said, I try to make it realistic, but in the feel of realism. And so in that way, I've made a number of attempts so that the hardest elements are a little bit simplified, so that people should be able to, I don't know, within half an hour, let's say, of starting the game, they should be able to deploy the submarine themselves and be free to explore on their own.
Terrific. And the platforms, what do people need hardware-wise to be able to play here? Is it, I imagine with graphics like this, it's a bit demanding.
No, not really. I think any reasonably modern computer should run it, no problem whatsoever. My computer is not terribly modern. I mean, with the price of the graphics cards these days, I kept it. It's not low spec, but it's a middle ground, and it runs it no problem whatsoever. There's a number of advantages in the setting that I chose that allow me to make the game run without having to pay lots of attention to, I don't know, to the number of objects on the screen. There's the visibility in the ocean is very low. And that's an advantage when you're making a video game, because what would be an issue in other games, such as what they call the fog, which is especially particularly in old racing car games, for instance, there will be a fog in the distance, and you will see things popping from the fog. The fog is what prevented those things from being shown, and therefore, that would make it easier for the game to run in low spec computers. In my case, it's a feature, because you have like 30 meters of visibility. I never have too many things on the screen. Those things are awesome, the things that I have, but I never have too many. And in that way, the game is kind of optimized from the onset. So to summarize, it's PC. I could probably make it for Linux with no problem, but it's only me, and I want to keep it simple for the sake of my sanity. So at the moment, it's PC only through Steam. And graphics card, I think mine is a 1060, so it's not even It's like 2 or 3 generations ago, and it runs fine. And any modern processor, I have an i7 from 10 years ago, and it works just fine. So not very demanding, I would say.
Again, it's subROV, SUBROV, Underwater Discoveries, and it's square3lab.com, SQR, the numeral 3lab.com/subROV. You can find it there. Congratulations, and we wish you great success with this. Jose Luis Gonzalez Castro, thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you so much for your time.